Hi everyone, this is Brandy from Little Britches and this is seller newsletter number one. So if you are watching this, you've probably already signed up for our October 5th, 2024 sale. And we're so excited to have you. So over the next couple weeks, I will send a newsletter every week that will help keep you in the loop, help you feeling like you know what's going on. Um, so make sure that you are watching for those emails. We also encourage you to follow our Facebook page. This is where we share a lot of up-to-date information. We'll do giveaways. We also share pictures of the sale once it gets started. So we definitely encourage you to give that page a follow. It also helps to spread the word about the sale more. And so definitely head over there. We also encourage you to join our Facebook group if you have not done that yet. This is a group just for sellers and will hopefully help you get some ideas. You can get questions answered. It's a great place to go for um, interaction with some seasoned sellers who can give some really great ideas. So a couple quick things that we need you to know about our sale, particularly if you have not sold for a while, if you're brand new to our sale, or also if you have sold at other consignment sales but you haven't sold with us before. Please make sure to familiarize yourself with the information on our website. Um, you are responsible for per your seller agreement, you are responsible for reading everything, but particularly pay attention to accepted items and how to tag and prepare your items. These are probably the two areas where we see the most mistakes. Um, as you're reading through that information, I know it's a lot, but we have lots of videos, and we also are always willing to answer questions if you are not sure about something, if something doesn't make sense, if you're confused. I would always rather you ask a question than sit and be confused. So please ask if something is feeling unclear. Um, with that, remember that this is a seasonal sale, which means that this sale is only for fall and winter clothing. So leave tank tops, sandals, swimsuit, shorts, that kind of stuff needs to stay at home. Um, so stick to coats. T-shirts are fine at either sale, as long as they don't have a summer spring print on them. Light jackets are fine at either sale, and jeans are accepted at either sale. Okay, a couple new things to sale. So as you know, as a seller, you get a 65% of your selling price is your commission on your items. And then we also take a seller fee, a flat seller fee from each seller. So we are increasing that flat seller fee. The 65% is not changing. That is staying exactly the same. The seller fee we are increasing from $12 to $13. And the main reason for this is because we have seen an increase in expenses, particularly credit card fees. I'm sure you've probably heard buzz from other businesses. Credit card companies are taking more for their fees, and credit card usage has just increased. Our percentage of credit card transactions at each sale has absolutely skyrocketed. And so as a result, we have a lot more that we're having to pay in credit card fees. Different businesses are looking at different ways to offset those costs. And we felt that for our business, the way to do that we felt would impact the least and would cause the least issues was to increase that flat seller fee. Um, and so we have actually owned the sale since 2018, and we have never increased it since we've owned it. So we hope that you can trust us that this was a thoughtful decision. It's not something we're going to be doing every sale or anything like that. It's just kind of keeping up with the cost of business. So hopefully that is something you can trust us with. It was made thoughtfully, and we hope you understand that dollar bump to kind of help offset some of those costs. Um, so the other thing is our new super seller program. So I'm going to just real briefly go over this because it takes a little bit to explain, and I'm going to be doing a video that will explain the whole thing. But just to kind of give you the main idea, this is a program that we're doing to incentivize those who do a really good job already, or to encourage those to maybe strive to do an even better job preparing items for the sale, pricing, all that kind of stuff. So it's basically going to be based off of your sell-through percentage, and it's going to be open to 25 sellers each sale to be used the next sale. If you qualify as a super seller, you're going to be able to enter items up until um, the item entry deadline, regardless of if we have to shut down early. You will not pay the $13 seller fee, and you will get to choose your volunteer shift prior to opening to the public. And so those are kind of the rewards, but it's based off of, like I said, the sell-through percentage, but then there's some additional incentivization for marking items for donate. You also will not qualify if you have more than 5 items pulled from the sales floor. And it is going to be based off of your items that are entered in the system at the time the um, system closes. So again, go ahead and take a look at our website. I have an infographic in the newsletter and on the website, and I will be making a video eventually that kind of explains the whole thing. But the idea is just to try to encourage our sellers to be the best, basically. Um, okay, so the rest of our newsletter, some notes about our tags. This is a big one, and it's something that it's really kind of funny because it's something that comes up every single sale. So I will always try to nip it in the bud. So I have a diagram on the newsletter that shows our tags because if you are not familiar with our sale, especially if you've never done like a sorting shift, anything like that, a lot of that stuff on that tag may not make a lot of sense to you. So one thing is you will notice if you have marked your item for donation, there will be on the left side of the tag, there will be a black solid dot. Um, it looks like the perfect size and location to hole punch through to put your safety pin. Please, please, please do not do that. That is not what it's there for. That dot indicates to our sorters that that item is for donation. So when you punch through it, what happens is that we sit there, we either try to give it back to you when you didn't want it back, or we like kind of sit and agonize over it, like, was there a dot there? Should we put it in the consignor bin? Should we put it in donation? It kind of turns into a whole thing. So please leave that black dot intact and just don't touch it. Okay. Um, so yeah, it needs to stay there. Do not hole punch through it, please. Okay, so while you are tagging, if you realize that you have made an error, it's super important you go back in, correct it, and then reprint the tag. We have had a huge issue the past couple sales where we have had items that the tag does not match what is in the system. And because of the way the computer systems work, it basically will not, our system is set up to prevent errors so that it can make sure that you're getting paid appropriately. And so what happens is if you do not reprint the tag and it is different from what the sale is scanning as opposed to what the system says, it gives us all these warnings. I have to go through, troubleshoot, figure out what's going on. It takes a lot of time. So please make sure that you are reprinting tags. In addition to that, something new this sale is that we are absolutely not accepting any handwriting on the tags unless you get specific approval. And that approval, we are going to be super duper picky. We've gotten a little laxed with this and we have had so many issues due to it. So if you have an error on your tag, do not handwrite to fix it. If you handwrite on it, we will pull the items from the sales floor. Okay, make sure you are printing your tags on cardstock. Remember that those items that are so neatly hanging wherever you sort, do your things, those are going to go with a lot of other sellers' items. They're going to get thumbed through quickly by sellers or by shoppers. Paper tags are just not going to last. So if it's something like a toy where you're taping over it and putting it on the item, it's not as big of a deal, but particularly with clothing items, it's got to be that cardstock or it's just going to fall apart and it's going to end up being an untagged item. Please check your printer settings. A big tip I always tell is that a lot of our sellers, very well-meaning, will print in high quality or like photo quality, something like that. Do not do that. It wastes your ink and it makes them not scannable because what happens is that barcode, it relies on those spaces in between the lines. And when you use a high quality printing, it kind of shoots a lot of ink on it. And it kind of puts these teeny tiny little marks in between the lines. So it becomes not scannable. So what we discover is that actually the best setting tends to be the ink saver settings. Um, the ink saver economy settings, that kind of stuff, it tends to make the best printing ones. With that, if you have an item that you're reactivating from a previous sale and you notice that the label is starting to look a little rubbed off, it's starting to look a little smudged, whatever, please go ahead and reprint that tag and save us some time at checkout. And again, kind of going into that, if you have an item from a previous sale that you'd want to sell at the sale, you just can reactivate that in the system. There is no need to re-enter it or reprint the tag unless it's messed up. Okay, so I like to warn early and often about our item sale cap. So what we have found as a best practice for our sale is that we have kind of what tends to be what we know from previous sales is our item cap, the number of items that if we go over that number of items, we don't tend to sell more. We tend to just have lower sell through, which means lower sell through for you. And so because of that, if we always, our hope is always to keep it open until the date that we have given you, which is the Sunday before the sale at 10 p.m. We always hope that we can stay open until that time. But increasingly the last several years, that has not been the case. We've had to shut down early. So we do not like doing it, but what we also don't like is for our sellers who have worked so hard to prepare their items to experience a lower sell through because our sale is just too crowded. So a couple things. Remember that Little Britches is for your best quality items. So some items are more appropriate for, donation for play material clothes. They're more appropriate for um, sometimes recycling or the garbage. Um, Remember that we are for your best quality items. If items are just don't have a lot of life left in them, they're not right for our sale. What I always do when I'm sorting my items is I will be tagging my items, but I will also have a pile that is either for donation or maybe to like pass on to somebody who can still use that item that's a little more worn. And then also a trash pile because sometimes things are just broken or ripped up and no longer usable. We just do not have space on the racks for things that are unlikely to sell. Um, Also, I strongly encourage you to enter those items that you most want to sell first. What I always say is right now, before you do anything else, if you know you've got that bike in the garage that you are super ready to get rid of, enter it right now. Even if you are not ready to enter the rest of your items, enter it right now. Then you know that no matter what, if something else happens, that item is entered and able to be brought to the sale. Um, and same thing with like any, you've got that bin that you are really tired of looking at of those winter items, go ahead and get those entered as soon as possible. And then that way, if you don't get everything else entered, you've still gotten rid of those. Okay, I know that was kind of a long one because it was our first one. So thanks for hanging in there. And I'm so glad that you've chosen to sell with us. And I hope that you have a positive experience. Thanks.